Hello, ladies and gentlemen, presenting the Bajaj Pulsar NS400Z 1.85 lakhs ex-showroom. I need to mention the price right away. That's the first thing. It is very necessary to start with the price because that sets the context for everything in this video. It says everything about this product. It's kind of blown everything else out of the water, including some 250 cc's, even some 150 cc's. There are some overpriced 150 cc's in the market just because they are unique in a special segment. There isn't much competition. Overpriced. We didn't realize that until now. Once this showed up, everything else seems expensive. When I first saw this Pulsar, leaked images online and then recent launch images, looked at it and said, okay, another Pulsar. But thinking more about it and actually seeing it in the flesh is quite different. I do not see why someone should complain. It looks just like the Pulsar 200, NS 135, NS 150, NS 200, NS 180, whatever it is. This looks just the same. Why complain about that? Because take a look at BMW. They have a signature design. The 2 series, the 3 series, the 5, the 7. They all look kind of similar. Nobody is complaining about that. Why complain about this? I won't, because seeing this up in close, the attention to detail, the small design changes are quite obvious. A lot of effort has gone into it. It is very easy in the image to just pass it off as just another Pulsar. Believe me, this is not just another Pulsar. Not at all. This is special. This is really special. I rode it on the track, did a few laps. A lot of fun. Good grunt. It's the same 373 cc from the Dominar, which is from the KTM 390, the previous gen. Wonderful engine. We know it. It's a known devil. I have not ridden many street motorcycles. I'm not very fond of them. This is positioned as a street fighter. Nimble, fast, easy to handle, easy to flick around, accelerates pretty well, brakes pretty well. Yes, braking could be better. Perhaps again it is down to the type of pads that are used. A change of the brake pad material can get the braking to become a bit more sharper. I think the Pulsar has evolved, and this 400 or a 373 or whatever you want to call it, high time it showed up. We have been dabbling with the 150, the 180, the 200, the 220, the 250 for way too long. And at 1.85 lakhs ex-showroom, this has just bombed the hell out of the competition. I think they would be running helter-skelter. Right from the 250cc to the 400cc segment, all kinds of motorcycles are in deep trouble because of the pricing. Keep that price in mind and we start the discussion. The whole dynamics change. Everything changes. Who cares if it looks like a Pulsar? Who cares if it's got a little buzz on the low RPM? Who cares if it's a Bajaj? I don't care. It comes at 1.85 lakhs. Everything else is forgiven. This engine is from the Dominar, which is from the older KTM Duke and the 390 Adventure. Proven mill, does the job very well, no major issues, smooth, silent, reliable, quick. It is happy between 4,000 and 7,000 RPM. In that band, there are no vibes, not even a buzz. It's buttery smooth, quite responsive to throttle. The roll on from 4 to 7 is so easy in 6th gear. So on the highway, on twisty tarmac, no need to shift frequently unless you want to hustle it. Other than that, that 3000 RPM band is the meat. Between 3 and 4, it has got grunt. However, there are intrusive vibes. It's a bit buzzy. Handlebar buzzes, the seat buzzes, the foot pegs, everything seems to be buzzing and shaking. But we would not be riding much in that RPM range even when commuting, because during commuting we would probably be having the RPM rising and falling in and out of that vibey band. So it is not really bothersome. The sweet spot between 4 and 7 is very important. I am very happy because I was able to putter around when I wanted to, and if I wanted to push it, I was able to push it. And it's a rev happy engine. We all know what sort of an engine this is. Happy to be revved, happy to be pushed. However, I think what they have done with the electronics is also make it happy and good for use at lower RPM. Usability, number one. Very usable, very rideable, excellent job. Although it is the same engine on the Dominar, I found that tuning, I don't know, I could be wrong, or maybe it is just the weight of the Dominar. I found it a bit insipid on the Dominar. It just didn't have anything going for it. Neither does it have the grunt, nor does it have the rev happy nature, nor does it have the rideability. Nothing much going for it. However, on this, it ticked all the boxes. This is the first Pulsar I am ever riding. I find it a bit unbelievable for myself that I have never ridden a Pulsar. It's been around for 22, 23 years. I've never ridden one. And I'm glad that this is the first Pulsar I rode. Now, talking about the Pulsar, it is now I understand why this motorcycle is such a hit. Yes, it is too common. It's been around for long. It may be a stale brand to many. It doesn't have the snob value. It doesn't have the premiumness. No, I guess that's not what it is aimed or positioned for. This is a common man's motorcycle. Little wonder it has met with the success that it has. I mean, it's nailed numbers. I don't know how many crore of these they have sold across the world. Not only in India, it's doing well in South America, perhaps in Africa also. After riding it is when I realized it has got so much going for it. It is light, compact, easy to ride, uncomplicated, simple, and it's bloody cheap. This is not a premium product. Bajaj is under no illusion or trying to position this as anything premium. Value for money, bang for the buck, most cc for the rupee, most horsepower for the rupee. Things do not succeed by chance. Seldom. There is something going for it, and the reason why the Pulsar has succeeded is simply because of how simple, how reliable, how much value for money it is. No secret to success. Bajaj have got it nailed, and fortunately they have maintained that value for money theme in this. Despite being a 400cc, 40 PS output, can you believe it? It is coming at 1.85 lakhs. That value proposition is super hard to beat. Okay, let me get into the basic features of this motorcycle. I am not going to go into much detail. I'll just point out the main things. Upside down fork, pretty standard, works very well. Highways is pretty good and handles the bad stuff which we come across quite frequently in our country easily. Huge disc. If this disc was any bigger, it would be as big as the wheel. So I guess it is the right size. Projector headlamp, and it's got this nice lightning bolt shaped DRLs. Looks pretty decent. Looks very modern and nice. Radiator shroud. It's got an additional piece here. It's got this carbon fiber type finish. This cowl, you see, it's got this lip. It's like those MotoGP aerodynamic winglets. Nice. Some aesthetic touch here. It's got some branding, a yellow swoosh, and of course the Pulsar branding here. It's got some a guard here with the rider's leg. The inner calf would touch somewhere here. Well done. This is the typical standard engine. Nothing much. Rear suspension. A nice subframe for the rear passenger pegs, box section swing arm, an all new unit for this particular motorcycle. This frame is from the Dominar, so it's designed to carry this kind of engine and this power. Simple tail section, typical Pulsar type tail section. Got this tail tidy here to hold the mud guard. The obligatory sari guard is here. NS branding. Seats are quite comfortable. It's got a nice step here. Pillion I don't know, but rider seat superb. The brakes are by Grimeca. The front tire is a tubeless 110/70/17. It's an MRF. And the rear is a 140/70/17, a radial. That's nice to see that it's a radial MRF. It's got reach adjustable brake lever and a reach adjustable clutch lever. This is not even available on some premium motorcycles. For this price, Bajaj has provided the adjustable levers. It's got a belly pan, more aesthetic. Okay, the same shroud for the radiator, aesthetic, a big piece here. ABS dual channel, yeah, and a decent dash. It's got a little bit of electronics. It's got some ride modes. These are the controls, very nice. These remind me of the Husqvarna and the KTM, so good. It's easy to feel with the glove and also control on the fly. It's got multiple ride modes, sport, touring, dirt, and whatever. I haven't bothered with any of that. I just used a couple of modes, sport and touring. Sport is the full beans and having fun with that. I got a tire hugger as standard, quite important because of this high tail tidy here. A bit of mud can splash onto the pillion. That's taken care of. Overall, pleasing looking motorcycle. It's got the muffler here right at the bottom. Adequate road clearance. I didn't scrape it anywhere. There were some ridiculous speed breakers on the way. Passing some villages, there were pretty steep humps. It didn't touch anywhere. Of course, I was riding singles. Doubles maybe, but it's not often that we would come across some nonsensical shaped speed breakers. Fuel mileage should be in the late 20s. That is what is estimated. So if that mileage is something you can accommodate in your costs, nothing much to think about. At 1.85 ex showroom, no brainer. Just plonk your money, pick up this motorcycle. Rode from Chakan to Lonavala. It's about an hour and a half actually, but we took 2.5 hours simply because we took a few diversions towards some water bodies and some dams and some winding roads. But the 2.5 hours went by too fast. Felt like 20 minutes. No fatigue, no tiredness. It is 38 degrees. It's very hot. But I enjoyed the ride because of two reasons. One, ergonomics. Two, heat management. Heat management is excellent. I didn't feel any great heat being thrown up from the engine despite these high ambient temperatures. The fan did kick in, did not kick in. I didn't even notice. That's how good it was. And ergonomics. Before I got onto this motorcycle, I was a bit concerned. I'm not fond of street motorcycles. I have not ridden them much. So I was worried that I might cramp up and feel miserable after an hour or so. I was wrong. Quite comfortable, quite happy. No cramps, no aching joints, no aching back. Posture is excellent. Foot peg to seat to handlebar. Good ratio. I am 5'9". I am 73 kilos. So I am comfortable on it. So based on that, you can decide if you can be or not. Most likely you will be. I hope these will be available at the showrooms soon for test rides. And then you can get to know yourself how excellent the heat management and the ergonomics is. I don't think there is more bang for the buck in India at this moment beyond the Bajaj Pulsar NS400Z. Did I leave any abbreviations out? Guess not. When I think of the Pulsar, a few things come to mind. The first one is the definitely male ad. I think it's about 20 years old, perhaps. It has to be, because that kind of an ad one could get away with only about 20 years ago. If something like that were to come out now, nobody will try it. If they did, they would be in a whole lot of trouble. I mean, kudos to Bajaj for coming up with something that was relevant at that time. Today, in a day and age when people take offense to somebody sneezing next to them also, such ads won't run. Great ad though. That's what I'm reminded of when I think of a Pulsar. Definitely male.